we'll be honest, we're having a little bit of culture shock right now.
Wow, what an incredible building. The glass domed roof is absolutely beautiful. Let's have a taste. Woo, this chocolate looks amazing.
Oh, it's just like a dessert with caffeine. Spain is a country that we've been dreaming about forever. So you can imagine that we were so excited to spend a whole month here in the city of Valencia. So between the food and the history and the culture, there's really so much on offer. And of course, we just had to experience it all while we're here.
But we didn't want to break the bank to do it. We wanted a month in one of Spain's biggest cities and have an amazing time seeing and doing it all and still come in on budget.
That's right. So we're coming up to the end of our month here in Valencia. And if you've been following our channel, you'll know that this is the time when we look back at all of our experiences in a city. So where we stayed, what we did, what we ate, and we put a price tag on it. How much did we spend and what did we get for it?
But before we dish the goods, a big hello to all you nomads and adventurers from Valencia, Spain. If it's your first time here, I'm Gillian and this is Stephanie.
So we travel the world full time and we want to bring a little more adventure into your life.
We knew coming to Valencia that there's really no limit to the stuff that you can spend on here. There are countless tours to take, so many beautiful museums to visit, and at times it seems like the entire population is out dining in restaurants. Now, you guys in our community know that we don't hold back on experiences when we travel, and we'll be honest with you, this past month in Valencia, we couldn't help splurging a little on entertainment. So we'll give you a sampling of what we did, but we really couldn't cover it all here. Of course, we had to explore Turia Park. This is a park that does a semicircle around the city and it's just perfect for long walks. We also enjoyed discovering the street art of Valencia. There are a ton of murals around the city, especially around El Carmen, and it was fun to just wander around and discover them all.
I love art, so of course I had to check out the Fine Arts Museum. This is a really lovely spot if you're a fan of Gothic and Renaissance art. And I went to the Silk Market, which is considered one of Valencia's most significant Gothic buildings, and it really is spectacular inside, definitely a must-see. However, my personal favorite had to be the Ceramics Museum. So this is housed in a really incredible 18th century Baroque palace. Now, it does have an actual ceramics exhibit, but the star of the show for me were all the restored palace rooms. So it was just one opulent room after another.
Normally all these museums have a small admission charge, but the government's trying to encourage tourism right now, so they were all free. Of course, we also had some spendy entertainment. We went to the Cathedral of Valencia, which was incredible. I mean, we've seen some pretty impressive cathedrals around Europe, but this one was definitely among the most spectacular.
So what made our time in the historic center even more interesting was a walking tour. This tour was focused on Valencia's medieval history, and it really helped us understand how the city evolved from Roman and Muslim time all the way to the 15th century. We don't always do walking tours in every city, but this one was really worthwhile. And since Valencia is the birthplace of paella, I had to splurge and do a paella cooking class. Well, I'm having a super fun day. There are 4 of us in this class, and we are each kind of taking turns to make this delicious paella. So it's a traditional paella with chicken and rabbit, and it looks like it's going to be really tasty. Now, I went into the class thinking that maybe I would cook up a little paella at home, but by the time we were done, I realized it's actually way too complicated for someone living in an Airbnb. But the end result was really delicious.
I had fun exploring the city by bicycle, using the bikes that you can grab from stations that are all across the city. One place that I cruised through was the stunning City of Arts and Sciences complex. And while I was there, I visited Oceanographic, which is Valencia's aquarium. Now, this attraction wasn't cheap to visit, but it was certainly one of the most impressive aquariums I've been to. I have to admit, I felt kind of sad to see these animals cooped up in tanks, but the design of the place was really beautiful.
So as you guys know, we basically travel to eat, and dining out is an area of spending that can add up very quickly, especially in a city like Valencia. Spain has just so many amazing culinary traditions, and we wanted to experience as many as possible. So there's the desayuno, which is breakfast, and usually restaurants will offer a deal, maybe a coffee and a pastry, or a toast with grated tomato for just a couple of euros.
Well, this tostada came with the tomatoes on the side as well as a little olive oil, so we're going to put it together and have a taste. Ooh. Maybe just a little salt for flavor. That's yummy with the tomato and the olive oil and salt, just perfect.
There's the R.LUM.R salad, also known as the almuerzo. Almuerzo. And this is like a brunch, and it's usually taken anytime between 9 a.m. and noon. Wow, can you believe this breakfast? We have this huge sandwich here. We have the little appetizers. We have basically all you can drink red wine and the lemon soda that goes with it. And don't forget about that little treat at the end. This is amazing, and it just costs less than $7 US. And then there's our favorite. This is the menu del dia, the menu of the day. And this is a special deal that's offered by most restaurants. Now this is available anytime between 1 and 4 p.m. and we tried a lot of those. To get things started, I have a first course of croquetas. So our main dish has arrived, and I'm very excited about this one. So we're having a dish that is related to paella, but instead of being made with rice, it's actually made with noodles.
Well, we've kept things pretty traditional so far today, but we saw on the menu key lime pie and cheesecake, and we just couldn't resist. Did you want me to share some with you, Stephanie?
I would take a bite. Either one, it's fine. Now for a quick snack in the late afternoon, there's tapas. And in the early evening, like 7 p.m., the locals often like to have a little sweet to get them through to dinner time. So obviously we had to try churros con chocolate a few times.
Woo, this chocolate looks amazing. Delicious.
The only meal that we actually didn't end up trying in a restaurant was dinner. And that's because Spanish like to take their dinner late, really late, like usually around the time that we go to bed. But after eating a nice R.LUM.R salad and a big menu del dia, we were happy with something just very small at home for dinner.
And that brings us to Groceries. There is an amazing selection of groceries available here, and with so many delicious goodies on offer, it can be easy to spend a lot. What worked well for us was stocking up on the basics at the Mercadona, which is a low-cost supermarket chain, and then I liked to top things up with specialty items from the Central Market. Now, I did find the market a little overwhelming at first, but by now I found all my favorite vendors. So here I am at the Central Market to pick up some yummy things. When you last saw me here during our first day in Valencia video, I had made the mistake of going on a holiday weekend, and it was totally crazy. But on a weekday, it's just fine. So let's go inside and take a look. So I like to go here for my baked goods, and I go here for my olives, and over here for cheese. And there are still just too many Hallman stalls to decide between. With all those goodies from the market, it was easy to make really tasty snacking platters at home.
With so many places to go to and restaurants to try, what made it so easy was living in a central location. We could step out our front door and be at the Central Market or the Cathedral in minutes. In fact, we could literally see the main square from our living room. Of course, such a great location doesn't come cheap. When we started looking at Airbnbs, we had some real sticker shock with the prices. Now, it's always possible to pay less, but we've learned that we really value comfort and a little bit of style with our Airbnbs, and we don't mind paying extra for them.
So let's go inside, and you can let us know if you think it was worth the spend. Here we go. What really got us excited about this apartment are all these windows. They make the whole space really light and bright, and the view of all the historic buildings is really lovely. The living room is quite spacious, lots of room for our morning yoga, and even a little desk over here for my editing. Now, the furniture and art is a little bit eclectic, but I'm a big fan, and I think it's grown on Stephanie. We're really enjoying the kitchen. It's small and there isn't much counter space, but it's clean and tidy with everything tucked away. And we have all the appliances we need. The bedroom is also nicely designed with lots of storage space. It does have a few interesting quirks, so if you want the full tour, you can take a look at our first day in Valencia video.
So our time in Valencia, it wasn't exactly cheap, but it did turn out to be more affordable than we expected for a Western European country. So let's add it all up and see what the damage is for a full month. For entertainment, there was just so much to see and do here. We ended up spending $150 US. But of course, there was a lot of free stuff available too if you're planning your own trip. Transportation was $39, and this included a cab from the airport and renting a bicycle for the week. Dining out at least a few times a week was $365, and we felt that that was money very, very well spent. Groceries cost us $435. And finally, there was our Airbnb. So this beautiful apartment in the historic center over the pricey holiday season came in at $2,000, which is definitely on the high end of anywhere we stayed. But I mean, what an apartment, and so central.
So the total amount we spent for a full month was just under $3,000. Not our cheapest month on record, but surprisingly affordable for such a sophisticated city. Even though we indulged in dining out, I mean really indulged, our total spending on food was actually on par with other destinations. In fact, if you're curious to find out more about all that delicious food that we've been eating, you can check out our big food adventure in the next video right here.